In the annals of ancient Egypt, few figures are as enigmatic and polarizing as Akhenaten, the heretic king. He dared to shatter millennia of tradition, introducing a radical monotheistic religion, only for his very existence to be systematically erased from history itself. Welcome to Echoes of Time, your portal to the forgotten pages of history. We reveal the secrets that lie under the dust of centuries and tell the stories that never made it into the history books. From lost civilizations and unsolved enigmas to unknown heroes, we delve into the past to better understand the present. Today, we journey into a profound historical riddle. What secrets led to Akhenaten's dramatic vanishing act? And was there truly a curse behind the pharaoh whom history tried to forget? This is a story of power, faith, and an unprecedented attempt to control the very narrative of a civilization. Our exploration begins in the 18th dynasty, a golden age of Egyptian power and prosperity. It was a time when the empire stretched far, its influence undeniable, and its pantheon of gods deeply ingrained in the daily life and spiritual fabric of the people. Within this established order, a new pharaoh ascended to the throne, known initially as Amenhotep IV. Yet his reign would become an anomaly, a radical departure from everything that had come before. Within a mere few years of his coronation, Amenhotep IV undertook an act of defiance that reverberated through the very foundations of Egyptian society. He abandoned the traditional, complex pantheon of gods, replacing them with the sole worship of the Aten, the dazzling sun disk. This was not merely a theological shift, it was a revolution. He renamed himself Akhenaten, effective for the Aten, signaling his complete devotion to this singular deity. The transformation did not stop there. Akhenaten embarked on an ambitious project to construct a new capital city, Akhetaten, a pristine metropolis dedicated to the Aten, rising from the desert sands. This city, now known as Amarna, became the epicenter of a cultural revolution. Art, religion, and politics were profoundly reshaped, moving away from the rigid conventions of the past towards a more naturalistic, expressive style that broke free from millennia of tradition. His reforms were sweeping, challenging the entrenched power of the Amun priesthood, whose influence and wealth had grown immense over generations. Akhenaten sought to dismantle this authority, consolidating all religious and political power under himself and his chosen deity, the Aten. It was a bold, audacious gamble that irrevocably altered the course of Egypt's destiny. Yet, as dramatically as Akhenaten rose and redefined his world, his legacy suffered an equally dramatic, if not more brutal fate. Shortly after his death, a chilling campaign of systematic erasure began. His monuments were defaced, their carefully carved reliefs chipped away. His name, once revered as Pharaoh, was chiseled from king lists as if he had never existed. His magnificent capital, Akhetaten, was abandoned to the desert winds, its grand temples and palaces left to crumble into ruin, eventually buried beneath the sands. This was an unprecedented act of Damnatio Memoriae, a deliberate obliteration of a ruler from collective memory, an attempt to cleanse history of his very existence. Historians have long grappled with this extraordinary historical phenomenon, seeking to understand the powerful forces behind such a thorough and calculated effacement. The forces behind Akhenaten's erasure are a subject of intense historical debate, prompting scholars to propose several compelling theories. One prominent explanation points to a vengeful act by the powerful Amun priesthood. Akhenaten had severely undermined their authority, confiscated their vast estates, and redirected the nation's spiritual focus away from their god Amun to his Aten. After his death, with the monarchy perhaps weakened, the resurgent Amun priesthood may have seized the opportunity to exact their retribution, systematically dismantling Akhenaten's legacy and restoring their own dominance.
The return to traditional polytheism would have been a triumphant vindication for them. Another theory suggests that Akhenaten's removal from history was a pragmatic political maneuver by his successors. His radical reforms had caused immense upheaval, perhaps leading to instability within the empire. By erasing his memory, his successors, including Tutankhamun and Horemheb, could restore stability and legitimacy to a shaken empire, signaling a return to the old ways and reaffirming the traditional order.
Did Akhenaten's radical beliefs lead to widespread public discontent? While we lack direct records of popular opinion, such a drastic change to deeply ingrained religious practices, combined with the immense resources poured into Akhenaten's new city, might have alienated a significant portion of the population. His policies, while revolutionary, could have been perceived as destabilizing and oppressive, contributing to a desire for his legacy to be forgotten. Adding further intrigue to the curse that seemed to follow his legacy, some scholars even propose the theory of a genetic or physical malady contributing to Akhenaten's unconventional appearance and reign. His depiction in art often features an elongated skull, narrow eyes, and a fuller figure, starkly different from earlier pharaonic representations. While artistic style can be interpretative, the consistency of these features has led to speculation about conditions such as Marfan syndrome or other genetic disorders. Could such a condition have influenced his unique worldview, his perceived vulnerability, or even been used by opponents to undermine his legitimacy and contribute to the rationale for his erasure? At Echoes of Time, we delve into these shadows of the past, sifting through archaeological evidence and ancient texts painstakingly uncovered from the sands of Egypt to unravel the mystery of Akhenaten's reign and its brutal aftermath. While the direct motivations behind the Damnatio Memoria remain debated, the evidence points to a deliberate and concerted effort to remove one of Egypt's most revolutionary pharaohs from the collective consciousness. The defaced monuments, the chiseled names, the abandoned city, each serves as a silent testament to a fierce struggle for control over not just a kingdom, but over history itself. What truly caused the deliberate removal of one of Egypt's most revolutionary pharaohs from the collective memory? And what does his story tell us about power, religion, and the enduring human quest for control over history itself? His legacy, though violently suppressed, ultimately could not be entirely erased, surfacing millennia later to pose questions about the nature of truth, memory, and the indelible mark of human ambition. How do we distinguish between history and the deliberate efforts to reshape it?